Assalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. For those of you that have your dictionaries, okay, we're going to look at this particular sentence, inshallah. Oh, we're going to have to erase that. Hope everybody got this one. So, we're going to look at this sentence. But before we look at this sentence, we're going to remind ourselves of this second sheet that you have. Everybody have the second sheet? It says صيغ الفعل الماضي, the forms of the past tense verb. That's what that says at the top. The forms of the past tense verb. Okay, so who can tell me where the two verbs are? Perfect. أنذرتهم, أنذر and tunzir. These are root-wise. These are the two. One is a past tense. One is a present tense. Right?
Verb-wise, it's only basically one.
Yeah. This is past tense. This is the present tense of the same one.
Oh, this holds the two holds.
Oh, they're two.
So anzartahum and amlam are past and present.
Yep, this is past tense, this is present. The reason because lam, it negates a verb for past tense but uses the present tense. Don't worry about all that. Just don't forget what I just told you. Because if you try to, you're going to think about it and be like, man, I can't come to this class anymore.
Just like the word. Yeah.
You could actually say, if you wanted to, and it would mean the exact same thing without any difference, ما أنذرتهم. أنذرتهم أم ما أنذرتهم. Now, if you have you always have to use lam after, so this is a different problem. If you said ما أنذرتهم, you didn't warn them, right? ما أنذرتهم. But لم تنذرهم, you didn't warn them. This is just two ways of doing the same thing.
So zartahum comes from what root word?
So that's what we're going to do. No, but what is the root? Who can tell me what the root is? Nadara. So look on this one and tell me which one. Okay, for those that weren't here last time, let's go over these. I wish I had the little red dot thing. Okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's go down here to this. No, the type of root. This says right here at the top right hand corner, type of root. Thulathi mujarrad, right under it, the basic three-letter root. The basic three-letter root. Thulathi mazid, three-letter root with additives. Three-letter root with additives. And these two down here, you can just X them out. Don't worry. Don't pay any attention. Talking about less than 5% of all verbs are like that. So we need to focus on the 95%, then we'll worry about the 5%. Okay, So you see here, if you look at it, okay, this one. عدد الأحرف الأصلية, how many are the basic letters in the root? 3 for all of them. 3. None of them are different. They all have 3 letters in the root. عدد حروف الزيادة, how many were added to that to change the meaning of that original verb? The first one is basic, so there is no additive. Then there's 3 that you add 1 letter. And then there is 5 in which you add 2 letters, and 1 where you add 3 letters. You see right there? And so then he has numbered them, 1 through 10. So, who is the lucky winner of the simple extraction? Number 4. Thank you, brother. This is number 4, right here. So, nadara is the root. Anzara is number 4, which in your Hanswehr dictionary will come up as a Roman numeral 4. Will look like this, right?
So ta is for
What is ta? This is our last class.
you,
You.
and hum is the object as in.
Object, very good. You see? You warned them.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice.
Did you warn them?
Did you warn them?
Or did you not warn them? This is taken separately from the ayah, right?
Okay.
سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم. Yeah.
So is this did you warn them or did you not?
Right here?
Yeah.
Did you warn them or did you not warn them?
No, which one is it? Is it?
Both are there, brother.
Oh, that's what you meant by the it could be this or that.
Yeah, you see? This is the takhir.
Right.
Takhir. It's good. No, it's good. At any point, if you're trying to work it out, you have to ask. If you leave here without asking a question because you didn't want to offend somebody or whatever, you didn't want to waste time. No, that's why we're here. We're expecting to learn something.
Question.
Yes.
The ra has a sukoon on it, so why does it fit form 4?
Because form 4, the basic past tense is what he's giving you. The kataba, kataba, aktaba, takattaba, takataba, iktataba, inkataba, iktabba, istaktaba. These are the 10 of kataba.
Yeah, we'll have
This is past tense singular, third person from the last one. That's what he has written here because it's the basic. Here we have a pronoun attached to it from this one that we did last time. So that is why the sukoon is there. Sukoon is going to come before each one that you attach to the first row. And he put the sukoon there. Look on this one. He put the sukoon on top of the last letter of the word that it's attached to on all of these except for he and ta at the bottom. Now on these you notice he put fatha because it's going to have before it the full. So it would say Nasarani. You're going to have the fatha there. He supported me for the object of the verb.
So if you had a third with فَأَنْزَرْتُمْ, like
That would change the meaning. This would put then into the word here. So, everybody look up nadara in your Hanswehr. Who can get there first?
Qamus.
Yeah.
Qamus.
Yeah. So if you go in your Hanswehr that you should have all had weeks ago. Nadara. Okay. What did he translate it as?
To dedicate, make a vow, warn, admonish, caution.
Very good. This is good. So nadara, it generally means to swear, to make a vow. Our enemy is ignorance. We need the education for the support. Okie doke. So when you go to number 4 here, it gives more to warn and to caution. Right? To warn or to caution. That is andhara. Andhara. So to vow or to swear, that to dedicate something to something is nadar. Andhara is to warn. Yeah. So one is the intrinsic action, the other one is to put that action out, to bring that action into existence by something that you're doing. Okie doke. So is an article. Is an article. That means it's like can mean did or does or is, depends on this what comes after it. In this ayah that is in Surah Al-Baqarah, Inna alladhina kafaru, indeed those who have disbelieved, sawa'un alayhim, it is the same for them. Anzartuhum, if you chose to warn them, am lam tunzirhum, or you chose not to warn them, la yu'minun, they will not believe. But in our structure here, it's asking, did you warn them or did you not warn them? Right? That's what we have up here. Right? So, yes, brother.
Why does I know you're going to cover it, but in the beginning we have anzartahum, in negative it becomes tunzir. So could that have been anzartahum amlam anzartahum?
No, because lam, it negates the past by putting a sukoon on the present tense. Now, if I go into that, we're going to spend a lot of time on something that probably is not, we could spend the whole rest of the time focusing on that if you want to, but because we didn't do present tense yet, I think it's out of order. When we do present tense, now we can say, okay, that's present tense, then you do lam, and that becomes past tense negated, right? So I think next week, we will start to look at all of these 10 forms in the present tense. You see? I think that's very good.
Isn't it in some places past and present same?
No, never. Past and present look different by nature. Right? Always is different. There's no exception to the rule.
Like kataba,
It means past tense.
he wrote or he writes.
No. Yaktubu, he writes. Yeah. It might be that you learned a little bit Arabic and you thought you had it down, so that's what happened. No, yaktubu is he is writing. He writes. Yaktubu. Never could kataba mean he is writing, right? Never.
So the dictionary, another means it's saying
To dedicate, to vow.
right,
Yeah.
and how it became
Andhara, number 4.
right,
See number 4?
right, and it became
Warn, caution,
right.
admonish.
How nazara becomes qasam?
Hmm.
Qasam.
It is like a type of swearing. To dedicate, to vow. Vowing is like it's like a swear. If you look in the thing here. So, how did it? That's just simply the way. We could go into the philosophical understanding of the difference between 4 and 1, but then that is not always the case. This is philosophy. It's human thought. It's not something set in stone. So it's better just to say, okay, 4 is different from 1 with this particular root by this way, right? So like if anybody gave me a word that I'd never heard before, but I know the root, after you get comfortable with the Arabic language, you live it, you think it, you dream it, then at that point, you will know what it means without looking in a dictionary. Like I will know what anzara, like af'ala or fa'ala or tafa'ala or tafa'ala or ifta'ala or infa'ala, and then all the different variations, munfa'ilun. I know, like, if you give me any root that I know the root, and then you give me a word that I've never heard that particular word, I can now tell you what it means. But if we go into that philosophy, it might throw you off right now. This will learn the structure. Structure is most important because that's something anybody can get. It's the ABCs, right? Then it will become natural. After a couple of years, I'm assuming, you will have got very comfortable, especially after next Ramadan when we're supposed to be reading the Quran regularly, but that's the reality of the Ummah right now, as people increase heavily in Ramadan, right? Than what they're doing now. So, okay, so, ta, what does ta mean? You, singular masculine. What does hum mean? Them, yeah, them, for the plural masculine. So this is the second row. This is the first row from from the first one we studied, right? Now, this verb is number 4 because you added Hamza to the original root. Now on the current one we're studying.
Say again, the tahum. What's the meaning?
Ta means what? You. Yeah. Hum, they. So them, them or they, depending on how you're going to use it.
Is it
So-
necessary that it's tahum instead of, like, can it be anzartuhum?
No.
It has to be tahum.
Anzartuhum, I warned them. You change the whole meaning. Now God is saying, did I warn them or did you warn them? Right?
Okay.
So this is why we got to memorize this stuff. Otherwise, you can make kufr very easily. There are various places. That's what in the original, when these Persians and some of these Phoenicians from the Lebanese area and all of that, and these people from Egypt with the Coptic language, when they were learning the Quran at first, they were making big mistakes with fatha, kasra, dhamma, shadda, sukun, and all of this. And so that's where all the Uthman calling for the Qur'ans to be burnt, because people were writing them wrong. And people were preferring one way of saying it to another based upon the original revealed dialects.
So if I say anta anzar, you warned them.
You're making up a new language.
No.
You're joining Shah Rukh's committee of English Arabic. English interpreted Arabic.
Aerobonics.
Yeah, Arabic. The Arabs have already done this very efficiently. You don't need to do a new one. Yeah.
So in this case, we don't have to make dawah to them? Or is it after the effort has been made and their heart has been sealed and then
So
there's no need to make dawah?
No. There's brothers bringing a theological question, but I think it's important because people will misunderstand this ayah. So we'll cover it right quick, inshallah. 1 minute, inshallah. The beginning of this ayah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ. Okay. So, inna is an article which gives an article that comes before a sentence, a nominal sentence, a subject predicate sentence, right? Inna comes there to give emphasis to that sentence. Indeed, verily, for sure, without a doubt, consequentially, not consequentially, that would be kullana. Of course, could say. Of course, the people who disbelieve, you could say that. All of these are ways to say to the person before the sentence, there's no doubt about what I'm saying, right? So, the key word here is this. Kafaru. Theologically, the sentence begins saying, indeed, those who have what? Who by their action have chosen to disbelieve. Now the question comes, what is choosing to disbelieve? So, This ayah is saying, those people who came to the knowledge and understood Islam, understood who was the Prophet Muhammad, his Abrahamic covenant, the roots of that in the Bible, the miracles he performed, the character he lived, the legacy, and all of that stuff, the Quran that he left and its miraculous nature. They understood the proofs, the evidences, and the message, and they said, I don't believe that and I will not believe that. This is what this ayah is talking about. When somebody came to that level, it's really not going to do much of a benefit, right? Until this verb changes to shak. Min alladhina shakku. There's a whole different one. Min alladhina shakku, those that were not sure, they doubted. Is it true or is it not true? Something in their heart has said it is unfair, arrogant, and unacceptable, and against so many facts to just say that whole religion is messed up or wrong or false. That statement is wrong. That conclusion has doubts in it because of all those proofs and evidences. So when somebody comes to that level, right, then that person could become those who believe, because the seal will not be on their heart. When you take this path, there's a seal on your heart. You chose for it to be there, and God put it there for you. Right? You get that?
So, those other people who don't know much about Islam, all they heard about it was from television, which category do they fall in? Like, if they
They're
die
Ahl
like that, what does
al-Fatra.
that mean?
They're Ahl al-Fatra. According to me, they're Ahl al-Fatra. There are people that are from a time or place or circumstance where they really didn't know what the message of God is really about, right? So, that's why. So, this ayah is telling you. So, the other ayahs were saying you are obligated to propagate and convey this message. Those ayahs are saying generally we need to all be generally always working to have a strategy to properly, realistically, practically convey this message to our surroundings, Muslim and non-Muslim, tabligh and, you know. So that's the aqidah angle of this ayah. Okay, so
the two personal pronoun them, whom, together is kind of unusual in other languages.
yeah, that's the whole thing. The Arabic does attached pronouns to refer to what is a longer detached pronoun, right? So, when you were looking at this, you might have thought all of this is one word, because it will look like that in the Quran, right? So, أَنذَرْتَهُمْ, what does that mean? Well, is an article asking a question. Anzar is the verb. Ta means you. Hum is the one you did it to. Right? This is the ones who did the verb. This is the one who did the verb. And this is the one that it was done to. Right?
Will Anzar be like Amr?
No. Fair Amr is something we haven't even discussed yet.
Anzar? Ageless Anzar?
We didn't. If I wanted to say Unzur
Yeah.
or Andir, depending on how you're going to say it, we're not doing that right now. We could do it some other time.
So if
Command has its own whole function, and it's rooted once again in how it comes from the present tense. We did not study present tense. So you remove the first, you make a sukoon on the last, and this is how that is. So when we get to present tense, then we'll start moving into lums and amrs and all of these. Any other questions on this one?
Isn't this
no
grammar
order.
that we're doing?
Huh?
Isn't this grammar that we're doing? Ta, home, all these things. Like, or is it?
It's both. It's grammar and morphology. Right? Morphology, to know which one is which word and why. Right? That's morphology. How the word morphs into different, why they're
Based on
attached.
What does it mean?
Yeah. So, but ta being the doer and hum being those who are done to, this is grammar. The doer of the verb, which we call subject, but in Arabic there's something called a verbal sentence, in which it starts with a verb and then the noun, the doer of it, comes after. Whereas in all other languages, to my knowledge, there's always subject, predicate. So there's always a noun that starts with. That's why many people would say, Anta anzartahum. They'll try to say it like that, which is redundant. Unless you're emphasizing you're the one that did it, right? So that innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Innaka anta Allamul Ghuyub, right? To say innaka Allamul Ghuyub would be fine to understand, but innaka anta, for sure you without a question are the only one who knows all of the unseen, is what's being said here. Innaka anta Allamul Ghuyub, right?
So the order I was trying to.
Okay.
So the additives after the verb,
Mhm.
that's the doer. That.
Ta is the attached pronoun. This is
Doer
not
is-
additive. The only additive is in the verb, it is hamza at the beginning.
Right.
Going to this one that we're studying.
Right. So
Right.
the ta is the doer.
Mm-hmm.
Doer of the verb. Which
Yeah.
one comes right after the verb?
This is the first row of the muttasil. First row of connected. This is what we did here. This is the you right here. Mufrad, mudhakkar, mukhatab. Ta. This is right here.
So if you switch, like it became being the before ta.
If you wanted to say they warned you,
Right.
yeah, you would say anzaruka.
And the
There's a whole different way of saying it. Anzaruka. Because if you go here, you look down here, that you have plural, masculine, third person is a wow with an alif next to it.
right.
Anzaruka.
Okay.
You just take out the alif when you're going to add a object of the verb.
Would it be incorrect if you said anta anzarahum?
She's doing the same thing. She wants to join your committee in English Arabic.
Right? You have to use a pronoun there?
No, sister. What you just said it makes no sense whatsoever. It's not Arabic. It's English mind pushing itself into Arabic and changing Arabic to agree with the way English is. That's exactly what that is. Anta, you, anzarahum. Did you, he warn them? What are you talking about? What are you saying? In Arabic, the pronoun always and forever will come after the verb. Always, every time, without exception. If you say, Anta anzartahum, you've just emphasized you're the one that warned them.
Yeah.
You warned them is what you're
Saying
saying,
it twice.
right? Yeah, you're saying it twice. Right? For my first few years of knowing Arabic, I would say huwa qala, and the sheikh would say, "Why do you say huwa qala? Why don't you say qala?" Right? It's understood huwa mustatir ba'da qala. When you say qala, every Arabic grammarian is going to say right here, hidden and unsaid is huwa. Because why? There is no such thing as a verb that does not have a pronoun that comes right after part of it, part of the verb itself, right? This is something crucial to understand, to see the Arabic style, the Arabic way of morphology. Okie doke. Lam, or. Or else, so in a question means or. Aw is an article that means or if you just wanted to say,
This or that.
say,
This or that.
جلست في الكرسي أو somebody ask you, do you like
Hummus or falafel?
huh?
Hummus or falafel.
Yeah. أنا أحب حمص أو فلافل. Whichever one you got. أحب حمص أو فلافل. Whichever one. I like hummus or falafel. Whichever one you got, I'll like it. Oh. Because it's not in a question. When you put that is the o, the or inside of a question. So is in a question. أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها?
Is it an article?
It's an article, yes. You see, this is sukun, right? Just means or. Now, this is mother. This is coming from a room.
Me, my mother.
Yeah. So, this comes up a lot. We will do this and then we'll be done for the day. We're going to look at a prepositional phrase and how it affects the word after it. Sophia and Nazna and also all of you guys got this one
Sorry,
down pat.
what did the lam mean? Lam? So is or. What does lam mean?
Huh? Lam is negating the past tense by and all that, so don't worry about it. guys are trying to force me to teach something that will not benefit you yet. What the heck is that? Are these
Decorations.
Oh, okay. What the heck is this?
Is that Arabic?
It's not Arabic. You saw
Decorations.
obviously, I didn't see it till now. Okay. I should make my own
The
little.
key is at the other end, the same
Yeah, totally.
way they
Yeah.
tried and
Oh,
all
I
that.
see. I was gonna say, I'm fixing to make my own little picture and see what he thinks about that. Okay. This is the next ayah. ختم الله على قلوبهم. على على قلوبهم. على, on, upon. Now the interesting point is, ala is considered a harf. It's a prepositional phrase, harf jar. But it is from a root word, which is ala, to be above. Right? Ali means the one that's high above. Right? But it's still considered a word that is not based on a root. Okay, ala means on. Al-qalamu. Al-qalamu. Ala al-maktabi. Pay attention to the word maktab. Ala al-maktabi. This is a kasra. Okay. Al-qalamu ala al-maktabi. The pen is on what? The desk. Table is tawila. Maktab means desk. Al-qalamu ala al-kitabi. Right? Ala al-kitabi. Al-jihazu ala al-maktabi. Al-jihaz, this thing, this machine. Jihaz means anything that is complicated.
Just contraption.
Yeah, contraption. Jihaz. That's fine. Good translation. Good one. I need to work on my English.
Maktab is table or
Maktab is table.
What is called school?
Library?
Maktab. Right.
Library is maktaba.
Maktab.
Maktabatun, library. Maktab can mean office or desk. Both.
Listen, the way you were saying that,
Mhm.
would it sound any different if you were talking about my desk? If you said.
Oh, you would say
Maktabi.
Al-qalamu ala maktabi. Ala maktabiyya. Not ala al-maktabi. The first one is kasra, half of a ya, right? Because why? Every time you have any prepositional phrase or dharf, amama, fawqa, tahta, fi, min, ala, bi, all of this, li, all of these are prepositional phrases. The word after it's always going to have at the end of it a kasra. It's always going to have it like that. Ala qulubuhum. If you said ala qulubuhum, that is not Arabic. It makes no sense. It's strange. It's weird. It's unacceptable to anybody who knows Arabic. This is the indicator that this word is a prepositional phrase before it.
What does bihim mean? Like, what is that?
The bihim is not. This is qulub is the plural of qalb.
Oh, okay.
Qalb, heart, or center, or root, or core, or whatever. Qulub is hearts. Home, as you know, means they. But with ala qalbihi, if you wanted to say it like this. Right? Ala qalbihi. This is going, even though anywhere else where there's no kasra before it is going to get dhamma. When there's no kasra. But it is for the fluid. If you tried to say ala qulubihum or ala qulubihu, it's a little bit just too much. Arabic language is embedded in making sure it flows out of your mouth. It's a poetic language. Beginning, middle, and end. It's a poetic language. They decided at the very beginning, however long it's existed, that it should be natural, right? Which is why, you know, for example, Isa, Yaqub, Ibrahim, these God changed those names of whatever they were really called, were Avraham and Mushay'a and Yeshua and all of these words that those people were actually called by, alayhim salatu wassalam, to fit in the flow of Arabic, right? Has to be, right? But many Muslims think that those are their official names that they were called by, which is not. This is just the Arabic representation of that.
What's the difference in using ala versus fi?
Fi qulubihim is a whole different thing. Fi is that in there, in. So fi qulubihim marad, in their hearts is a disease, right? It means that in there, inside somewhere, there's a disease that needs to be removed to make the functioning intrinsically work, right? You understand? Ala means on top of. There's something preventing anything from coming in and out that's going to make it work right. So when you take that off, now there's going to be something coming in and going out of it, right? Whereas everything that's coming in and out, because the disease is inside, is all being mixed up, right? So this is the philosophy of the two different.
So what is that used in? Ala qulubihim? Like what sentence? What verse?
ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. Right?
Everything is
Upon their hearts. ختم الله, God has set a seal على قلوبهم, upon their hearts.
Everything is closed.
Because the previous ayah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, as a result of their disbelief, God put a seal on their hearts that when they change, when they choose to disbelieve, that's what will remove the seal. And God knows when that happens, and immediately He will remove that seal when they choose that. So we'll just kind of clarify on this. We'll go into more detail later. Ala qulubihim. So now let's just look at each one. Ala qalbi. You cannot have ala qulubi. We don't have more than a heart. Ala qalbi, on my heart. I'm totally mixed that one up. Ala qalbi. Okay, upon my heart, or fi qalbi, in my heart, right? Then you would have ala qulubina. Now, if you wanted to get into poetry and some deep, you could say ala qalbuna. Ala qalbina. Sorry about that. Ala qalbina. If you said like that, it would be a very deep analogy of how Muslims all have the same heart and so, you know, some poetry type thing. Qulubina. Qulubina.
So what is qulubina?
Our heart. Our heart.
Oh.
Ala qulubina. Right? Say ala qalbika.
That's our hearts. Is it?
Yeah, our hearts. This is plural. Qulub is plural. Qalb is singular. Ala qalbika. Upon your heart. على قلبك على قلوبكم or sunnah. Right? This is how it's going to be. So simply with the hat of hum, huma, and hu. When you attach those, it's going to get affected by the kasra, he. Qalbihi, right? Qulubihim, right? But with these, it's going to stay kaf. It's going to be, because this is part of the pronoun. But for example, on qulubikunna, it's not qulubikinna, it's qulubikunna. You see what I'm saying? Zay. Ala qalbaykuma. On your two hearts. This is different. Well, don't worry about that, it's confusing. So that's just kind of an introduction to the fact that a prepositional phrase will affect the word after it to have a kasra. So this is a very simple thing. Fi, min, ala, bi, ila, li, all of these prepositional phrases, amama, tahta, fawqa, ba'da, all of these are going to after it, in, on, before, outside of, in front of, behind, before, after. All of these things are going to make the word after it with a kasra at the end. So that's a structure that you will recognize as you're looking through the Quran. My advice is to go through the Quran and study this stuff. Like look at the Quran and look at that word and say, where did that word come from? And then think, oh, okay, I think I have an idea about the verb, and then this is the connected pronouns that might be there, and so forth, right? Inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan.